Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are doing fine. No, this video is not about lotuses. These I saw in the morning from our small pond in our house. So I thought I just had to put it up because I thought it was just lovely and pretty. So anyways, today our video is about jackfruits. So since it was the jackfruit season, we did get quite a few jackfruits, and since we're all in an experimental mood due to the lockdown, thanks to the lockdown, so I was doing quite a lot of thinking too, and we make this jackfruit pulp which we make in advance and store it in the freezer, or like we call it chakkavarti. I hope I said that right. Okay, so what we do basically is we take the ripe jackfruit, cut it into pieces like this, and we boil it in the pressure cooker. Now when you're putting it for boiling, you can add jaggery if you want, but it's optional, you don't have to. Once cooked, you grind it to a smooth pulp in your grinder, and in a thick bottomed vessel you reduce it. That is, you keep stirring on low heat till the water content has completely evaporated and you get a thick pulp. While we are stirring here, you add a bit of ghee and jaggery according to your sweetness, so you get a sweet thick pulp like this. This is how your pulp should be at the end of all the mixing you do. Now the mixing does take time because you have to do it on low heat. If you put it on high because you want to finish up the job, trust me, it will spurt all over and it's quite stingy when it gets on your skin or your hands. So on low, keep stirring, keep stirring. It takes time, but it's worth it. Now this you can store it in your freezer for the longest of times. When you need it, just defrost and use it for whatever you want to use. What I am going to make is a cake out of this pulp. Now let me tell you, it did taste perfect. It was so good. The perfect balance of jackfruit, and I had added spices. It blended in so well. And well, as much as I was excited, I was very tensed as I had to alter the sweetness and the oil that I was going to use according to the sweetness of the pulp that I had already made. So it was more of adding and minusing. So the final measurements shall be in the description box. So without further delay, let's start, and I'm going to do everything in one bowl. So it's a 1 bowl jackfruit pulp cake. Anyway, so 2 eggs I've taken here. So in goes 1 egg, and the next one goes in. And then we beat it till again properly mixed. So we beat. So now I'm adding the pulp. Like you can see, that's about 1/4 cup, but I added another 1/4 cup. I added around 1/2 cup of this pulp, and it tasted fine. If you do not like to have a strong flavor of the jackfruit, 1/4 cup is fine, but trust me, even 1/2 cup you would not have like a really strong flavor of the jackfruit. It's just right. Okay, so yes, after adding that, you stir well. You need to really mix well because like you can see, it's all in pieces. It's not, in uniform, so you have to mix properly. Yes, you can see my phone is behaving really funny. The lighting is not proper, so please excuse me for that. I hope you can see. So now that's mixed well, I'm going to add in the sugar. Now I'm using brown sugar. In case you do not have brown sugar, you can use powdered jaggery or white sugar. Now I am adding sugar in small increments because I need to check with the jackfruit pulp that I am using. So you have to check the sweetness of your jackfruit pulp. If you've added a lot of jaggery while making the pulp, you can add less sweetness here. But if not, you can add a bit more. It depends on your preference on how much sweet you want in your cake. You have to mix well because you want everything to be incorporated into one uniform mixture. Okay, so mix properly. Now that's done, I'm going to add in milk. Again, I added bit by bit because I was going by how much thick my pulp was and how greasy it was. So like I said earlier, the final measurements will be in the description box. Please do check it out. Okay, now give it a quick mix, a good mix. Mix it well. Make sure it's all well incorporated. You want the jackfruit to completely blend in with everything you add. The next ingredient that goes in is oil. I'm using a neutral flavored oil as usual, and again in increments. I shall add and mix till I get a uniform mixture. So next I'm going to add in vinegar, about 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And then we mix. So mix as properly as much as you can so that you can get a uniform mixture. This is the next ingredient, whole spices. I used only this much and just this. I dry roasted them slightly and then I powdered it. So that's the powdered, and I am going to use most of it basically. And we give it a good mix again to incorporate everything. Mix properly. So next we add in the dry ingredients. So we start with flour. I'm using wheat flour as usual. Now something that I did not mention in the beginning is the cup that I've used for measuring. It is the same cup I use every time. You can use any cup, but whichever cup you use the same cup for all the ingredients you use for that particular cake. So now that's done. Now we go to the next ingredient. So next I'm going to add in around 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we mix a bit. So next we have to add salt, a pinch of salt. This is how much I'm using. Just sprinkle it, and then we shall mix. Like oops. Yes, we have to be a bit careful, but slow. And one thing I would suggest, if you have a bigger balloon whisk, you would rather use that, or a spatula, or if you don't have both, then you should opt for a big spoon, because using a small balloon whisk will not be quite useful. As you can see, I have shifted from a balloon whisk to a spoon because my balloon whisk gave way, a wire kind of like came out. Anyways, so you can see the batter is ready. It's a bit thick, so I've added a bit of lukewarm water. Now add water only if you think your batter is thick. That it depends upon the flour you use. Mine needed a bit of water, so I've added just a bit, like you saw, just a bit of lukewarm water, and give it a mix. Again, do not over mix, you just want everything to get wet. And your batter is ready. So now it's cooking time, and that's my faithful pan, and we're going to pour in the batter. Again, I will repeat, if you are using a spoon like I am to pour in the batter and smoothen out the surface of the batter, try not to touch the spoon to the surface, as you do not want to cause any kind of scratches to the pan. Since it's a thick batter, you will have to smoothen it out, and again try not to touch the pan with your spoon. So just go round and round, and yeah, just be careful. So that's done and it's on the stove. So I'm going to close it and cook for about 30 to 35 minutes, but do check after 20 minutes. And fast forward to cake done. So basically I was very tensed as I did not know how it would turn out. So I checked for if it was done by poking the cake with a toothpick, and it came out dry with a few crumbles on it. Next, what I was scared was if the bottom got burnt, and well, you can see it's not burnt. So now I have to see when I cut it how it's going to be inside. And I'm so sorry about my phone, it just wants to be in the picture somehow. So let's see, I'm cutting it, and honestly I didn't even realize the shadow was there, as I was too worried about how the cake would turn out. So that's getting done, and let's see. Nice, soft, cooked. It's well cooked actually. And I think I'm going to see, you can see the bottom, the top side also, it's quite done. And I'm going to just take a bite very quickly. And there, that tasted so good. Well, I'm really happy how this turned out, actually very happy, as I was very tensed. So I hope you guys try this out. That's the end of my video. And just in case you do not have the pulp, the one that I made, you have jackfruit and it's really ripe, you can just boil, let it cool down, puree, and use it in the cake, so you don't have to wait a long while to make this cake. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. So till next time, bye, take care.